Hey guys, I recently put out posts on Twitter and the community tab on YouTube asking for people to reply to that post with questions for a Q&A video. And I'm going to be responding to those questions that you guys asked. There were a lot of questions, so I'm not going to respond to all of them, but I'll respond to pretty much as many of them as I can. A reminder to like the video if you like it and subscribe for more. I plan on putting out a lot of Battlefield 6 content when that game comes out. And yeah, also follow me on Twitch. I stream every single day. So without further ado, let's get into the first question here. First question comes from Mr. Mike Numbers himself. Who is your biggest influence when it comes to streaming? I would say I have multiple influences. When I first started streaming, I already really watched Twitch a lot. I watched like Somewhat 1G, Tim the Tatman. You might even see me on stream sometimes wearing a Tim the Tatman hoodie from like one of his first merch drops or whatever. But the people that really inspired me to stream are, I would say, Zariana. If you guys know Zariana Plains, I'll put her Twitch up on the screen or the video description. When I first started streaming, she was one of the main Battlefield 1 streamers, and I don't know, I just really liked watching her stream, and I would play with her, and it kind of inspired me to say, like, hey, well, I can do this too, so I would say Zariana for sure. Second question comes in from Mr. Xenocidal on Twitter. How often do you encounter ruts in your career where it feels like you aren't improving, and what do you do to break those skill plateaus? This is hard for me to answer because Battlefield 5 is my main game, and I would really say that I don't try to even break anything anymore as far as like skill plateaus. I wouldn't even say I really try very hard anymore, which is probably really bad, but I'm BF5's in a state right now where trying really just isn't that fun. But typically, say on a new game or a game that I'm really motivated to play, I would just try to counter that with identifying what the issue is, playing a lot, watching other people play, which is really underrated. Watching other people play, you can pick up a lot. And I would say that I don't encounter ruts very often, but when I do have a rut, it's very noticeable, and it's probably avoidable if I just ignore it, but it's pretty hard for me to ignore it. But that's typically what I would try to do. Next question is from Augie on Twitter. Why do you choose a 1x scope on the majority of your weapons? Is it for reaction time? Because you play aggressive? I would say that sometimes the exaggeration of recoil that a higher zoom scope brings isn't worth the extra visibility. And the perfect example of that would be why I use the 1x sight on the Turner SMLE. I find that I am more accurate with a 1x sight than I am with a 3x sight on that gun, just because of the way the recoil looks when you're shooting with a 3x. I don't particularly like it, and I perform just as well, if not way better, with a 1x sight. And that's really it. I just prefer it. Next question is from Ethan Reed. How did you meet Baranox? Baranox and I met in a lobby of VIII Breakthrough Defense, and he specifically mentioned this to me rather. We met because I was the only person in the lobby that we were playing in at the time that was doing the same thing that he was doing and keeping up in kills with him. And we played against each other in TDM a lot. I'm pretty sure we're lurking in both of I'm pretty sure we're lurking in either person's stream as well. And I actually whispered him on Twitch, and we just got to talking. That was really, that was that. So we met on in a game of Battlefield 5, and that, like, alerted us to each other's presence, I guess. Next question comes in from Mr. Kaiser. I'm going to answer the second question first, because he asked two. What engine oil do you use, and what scents for your mouse? I use synthetic engine oil, and sensitivity is 0, And what advice do you have for people that just starting out with Twitch content creation? I would say being good at a game is a incredible benefit. I would also say that finding a game that is not saturated is very beneficial to growth, because the less saturated a game section is, the higher chance people have of finding your stream. And just starting out, getting above the 0 viewer, 5 viewer mark is absolutely crucial. You have to get above that mark, else you will never be found. Unfortunately, it's just how it is. Twitch doesn't really have good discoverability. And you need to tell your friends, hey, even if you're not going to watch my stream, you know, make a Twitch account and just, you know, lurk in my stream, you know. Just sit in my chat, get me above that 1-2 viewer mark, and it really does world. So I would say try to stream a game you're good at, and it helps tenfold if the game that you're good at is less saturated. Next question is another question from Augie. Why do you prefer Battlefield 4 movement over Battlefield 5? Battlefield 4 movement is far more versatile and way higher skilled than Battlefield 5's. You have a lot more options for outplay, and that's really what it comes down to. I prefer skill gap in both gunplay and movement. I really like a dynamic game experience when it comes to that, and I just really feel like Battlefield 4's movement offers that way more than Battlefield 5's movement. And the next question is from Baronox. What is your favorite shooter of all time? It would probably have to be Halo 3. Had a really good time in Halo 3. Really enjoy that game. Even going back to it, even on the Master Chief Collection, it was still just as fun as I remember having on Xbox. Just a fun game, you know? Like, return to fun video games, you know what I mean? Quit this bullshit. Return to Halo, okay? Next question is from Too Much Cyanide. What got you into Battlefield? Funnily enough, what got me into Battlefield is my dad actually got a MSI gaming laptop. And the MSI gaming laptop at the time came with a free copy of Battlefield 3. And neither of us have ever played Battlefield 3 before, so we decided we would try the game out. And I was probably 13, 14, or 15, somewhere in there. Probably 14. And every day from, like, getting home from school, I would come and play the game, and I would just play, you know, No Shark Canals, TDM, and all the great Battlefield 3 maps and modes. And I just kept playing it. I really liked it. I wish I was older when I played that game, and I wish I could go back and play Battlefield 3 like with all of what I have now, because, you know, I kind of feel like I missed out a little bit, because I believe at the time we got the game, or I started playing the game, 2 DLCs were already out for the game, so I really missed a lot of it. But yeah, that's how I got into Battlefield. Next question is from 61zil. I wouldn't typically answer this question, but it was just so chock full of just ignorant things that I just have to address it. I'm sorry. His question is, why do you focus your streaming on a single game, BF5, considering games live and die constantly, and your livelihood, parentheses, will depend on it? It's like putting all your money in a single stock on the market or a number in a casino roulette. I'll just edit this and say a single franchise, Battlefield, instead of just BF5. Holy fuck. Okay, well, I mean, I'll just start by answering this. My livelihood does not depend on it. I am almost graduated with a degree in business administration with a concentration in accounting. So, I mean, it just, my livelihood doesn't depend on it. Number 2, the only way you would ask this question is if you have no idea what you're talking about when it comes to streaming yourself. You've clearly not done it for a lengthy period of time and had success in it. Because if you did, you just simply would ask this question. I'll explain to you why. If you actually knew what you were talking about, you would understand that success in content creation, particularly Battlefield in, recent years, is very, very rare. And it's rare in content creation in general. And when you're doing well and you're forming community and you're playing a game that might frustrate you, but you like playing simply because, you know, this is the game that you played, this is the game that you decided to stream, this is the game you formed your community around, you would understand that you need to reach a certain level of success to even consider switching over to another game. Because, for example, I'll give you a real-world example. At the height of Ninja's popularity on Twitch when he was playing Fortnite, Ninja would pull over 100,000, 200,000 viewers a day on Fortnite. Excuse me. Ninja, being as wildly successful as he was, could not even hold even 6,000 viewers when he switched over to streaming Final Fantasy. Now, you might say, oh, 6,000 viewers is great. Yes, it is great. But here's my point. You need to reach a certain level of success before you can even consider switching other games, because you can't afford to do that when you're small. Because let's face it, I'm not gonna beat around the bush here. I'm very, very lucky to have an extremely supportive community. I'm very, very lucky to even be able to have anyone that watches me on any platform. But I cannot afford to willy-nilly switch games. That's not how this works. If I were to switch games, just like Ninja, I would lose the vast majority of people. And that just really doesn't seem like a smart decision, does it? There are a very, 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 I want to emphasize, very small amount of people that create content that can successfully play whatever they want and get away with it. And you asking this question is honestly just fucking unbelievable to me that you can't see that. Oh, and also, let's not, I forgot to mention the fact that, you know, I kind of fucking enjoy streaming Battlefield. You know, I kind of enjoy it, even though it might not seem like I enjoy it. The frustration that you see me have is out of me wanting the game to be better. I actually do like the people in my chat. I like my community. I like streaming Battlefield. So, you know, that's just another thing. And also, just another thing that I completely forgot. I'm not putting my eggs all in one basket. I have very, very good transferability to other first-person shooter games, but here's the thing. I don't care, because at the end of the day, I am not going to just willy-nilly transfer my focus onto a game that is even worse than Battlefield 5. Case in point, Cold War. My plan was to switch to Cold War, never play Battlefield 5 again. Guess what happened with Cold War? It was even fucking worse than Battlefield 5. So, I came back to Battlefield 5, right? I have great transferability when it comes to my community and FPS games, and thank you guys for that. Really do appreciate it, by the way. I can pretty much play whatever FPS game I want. Why am I not playing a different FPS game? Because they're all dog shit right now. But, yeah. So, just wanted to answer that. It's a long-winded answer. I'm really not sorry. You're kind of a fucking idiot. I'm just going to be honest. Yeah, that's kind of insane. That you can't see the answer. It's just... Next question. Next question comes from Stay Hydrated. What is the overall surface area of your forehead? I mean, this is just a closely guarded trade secret, so I can't really tell you. So, yeah. Next question comes from Cylon VE84 on Twitter. Why suppression is a bad thing? Suppression is a bad thing because it rewards people for missing. I don't particularly like getting my accuracy impacted by someone that was already inaccurate to begin with. I think it has its positives and negatives, though. I do think that if you really try to hammer it out, you can make suppression a system that makes sense. For instance, in Battlefield 5, if I were to have suppression in Battlefield 5, I would make it only affect bolt-action snipers and, like, SLRs, like, you know, ZH-29, RSCs, that stuff. Basically, long-range rifles. And I wouldn't make it as harsh as other games, but I would definitely have it affect it to some degree. Because I think we've all been in gunfights with snipers where, you know, we're hitting 100% accuracy, and they're aim down sights, and they don't have any flinch or anything, and they just headshot us through them literally getting shot by, like, flawless sprays. That's just really frustrating, in my opinion. So, suppression's a bad thing when it's implemented extremely poorly, like it has pretty much in every Battlefield game. But I do think if you try to implement it correctly, there is a possible way you can do that. And the last question for this video is gonna be from Mr. Spy. I'm just gonna end the video here. I might do a second Q&A, but this is getting pretty lengthy. It's like 13 minutes. But last question is from Mr. Spy. I want to know where the alias Enders came from. Enders is actually my real life last name. Believe it or not, it is my real life last name. I've always been Enders ever since I was born. So that is where it came from. And I'm not creative, so I was like, fuck it. My last name is pretty cool. I'll just use that. So I hope you guys learned some things in this video about me. You know, I've trying to interact with the community a little bit more. You know, get people to know me a little bit better, because I feel like people kind of, well, some people kind of misunderstand me a little bit, and I hope this video kind of opens people up to the fact that I'm not always fucking angry all the time. So if you like the video, hit the thumbs up. I might do a second Q&A video, so if you want to reply with questions for a second Q&A video, you can comment them on this video. Battlefield Top Plays, submit your clips to submit Battlefield Top Plays at gmail.com. And I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.